if you're out of the area.
So that's so you gotta look at it different ways, because you cannot combine expired call with how do you say it, with area marketing. That's two different things. Because when you're doing the call, when you're doing the expired call, if you also want to focus in area, then you're not going to get anything, because because the nature of the business, the model for expired call, the nature of that business model is that you cannot narrow down the geographic preference. If you're going to do expired call, you should not be picky on location. I mean, obviously there is an extreme that you want to avoid. For example, let's say if the listing is in Bakersfield, then that would be too far, right? So that would be like physically impossible to drive. But I mean, it just depending on you. Like sometimes before, I used to go to even Victorville. Well, my mindset was, I just go once, and if I sign the listing, that's because I just go once, right? So it's so at some point you want to limit, say, okay, so I'm only gonna go so far as maybe 30 miles or whatever, whatever the quota, I mean, whatever limit you set for yourself. So that's, so it's the same thing, like because last time we talked about like don't mix up the appointment with a presentation. It's the same idea. Don't mix up geographic farming with cold call, with expired call. That's just different. You cannot expect to that all the people that's in the database is around you. That's just not the case.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so now we have how many people? Let me see. 14. Okay. Oh man. Okay, 2 minutes. 8 minutes past 10. So maybe wait for 2 more minutes. So if anybody else have any questions, we can go over.
Ray, I have a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when you make phone call, like cold call, how many contact you can get per day? Sometimes I think it just kind of they never pick up the phone. If you're prospecting from morning, I don't know, 8 to 12 or 3 hours, how many effective contact you have usually? I mean, a typical day.
Well, it's depending on how you do it. If you're gonna use if you can use the dialer, the power dialer, you can call 600 numbers in 2 hours.
I'm not talking about how many 600, but how many effective talk, how many you'll get connected and talk. And then, it's a lot, it can die a lot, but how many you can talk?
So that's the thing. It depends. Sometimes I get on the phone, I talk to the first phone call I call, I get to talk to the seller. Sometimes I get on the phone, it takes me 2 hours before I get to talk to the seller. It's really random. So like I was saying last time, you just need to have the mindset, the right mindset that I'm not gonna get off the phone unless I book an appointment. Don't worry about how many people you're gonna talk to or how long it's gonna take before you get to talk to somebody. Don't worry about that because you have no control of that. The only thing you have control of is telling yourself, I'm not gonna get off the phone unless I book an appointment. That's the only thing you have control of. You have no control of anything else. That's just a decision you need to make, right? You say, okay, I have decided that today I'm not gonna get off the phone unless I book an appointment. You can only decide on something you can control, right? Like the question you asked before, just do not think about it. There's no way you can control it. If you're gonna think on that, then you're just gonna get discouraged. So if you say, oh, I'm gonna try to see if I can get to talk to somebody in an hour. What if you do not get to talk to somebody in an hour? Then when the 1 hour comes, then you're gonna be so totally, disappointed. Then you're gonna hang up the phone. Because you can only decide on something you can control, right?
I heard that like the rate of talking to 50 people and you can get in one listing.
There's no rate.
No
There's it's so random.
Mhm.
Sometimes I get on the phone, I book appointment in 10 minutes. Sometimes I get on the phone, I book appointment in 3 hours.
It depends on your skill too. As you sharpen your skills, the better you are going to become.
Well, that's a different thing. 'Cause we're talking about when you can get to talk to the seller. That's one subject, right? Okay, the second subject is what Edward just talked about. So let's say once you get to talk, once the seller pick up the phone, then can you book the appointment? That's a different topic.
Yeah.
So if
I've used different dollars. Like for example, I've used like single line dollars, triple line dollars, 10 line dollars, and it is a matter. You never know. Someday the first person you contact, like Ray said, you set an appointment, right? And sometimes, but the only thing, it's like a numbers game.
Exactly. So when you're gonna get to talk to the seller, you have no control. So once you do get to talk to the seller, then that you have control. Like whether you can book the appointment or not, you can have the control. But you will not get that control unless you have enough practice. If you do not have enough practice, let's say the seller say hello, then you start to stutter, and then the seller click.
I'm not selling anymore. Click.
Yeah, what are you gonna say, Gloria? Bless you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say if they say, oh, I do have a property, but I'm not planning to sell now. I said, when do you plan to sell? And then what happened? They said, oh, we changed our plan. We want to sell it like, I said, when? They said, like half a year later. So I said, may I have follow up with you first? Half a year later, they kind of say yes. But at this point of time, do you think we should say something?
Yeah.
And what,
Yeah.
like, can you tell me what you would say at this point of time?
Okay. So you'll be the seller, I'll be the agent. That's practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, when planning to sell now, our plan changed.
So what made you want to sell the home in the first place?
The first, or I think we want to just have one more property because we are having a bigger family.
You want to sell and buy a bigger one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the interest rate is going up soon, right? It's already gone up, but it's gonna keep going up.
It was done. It was getting the Fed Reserve. They have a news interest rate is getting down this couple of days. Did you hear news?
Yeah, but in the long term, interest is gonna go up because has already gone up 1%.
What they're saying that the interest rate is getting down and the property value is going up, and we can hold up 6 months and then we may make more money.
So you think so the reason you want to wait is because you're trying to wait for the price to go up again?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you're hearing that kind of information, but the markets, the interest is going up. Yeah. So if you're gonna wait and you're gonna buy later on, I mean, number one, you're gonna have to pay higher interest for the home you're gonna buy. Number two, you're gonna get a lower price for the home you're selling because the interest is higher.
Well, we don't know. This is kind of uncertain in front of us, but maybe
Okay,
we
that's okay. Yes,
don't
so it's actually, don't worry about it. If you cannot make a decision right now, it's actually the best time for us to meet
Yeah.
and talk. You know, that way you're not pressured to make a
yeah.
make a
We want
decision.
to sell 6 months later.
Okay, good. That's good. So since
Yeah.
you don't have to make a decision now, I think the best solution is for us to meet for me to take a look at your home first. That way, you know, I can share with you some of the options, maybe other options we can help assist you to reach the goal you have. Since you don't want to sell now, you know, it's good. That way you're not gonna be pressured into making a decision. I'm not gonna, you know, so it's actually a good time because you don't need to make a decision. But it doesn't hurt if I, you know, share with you the options, you know, then you can have more, you know, the information to make your decision, right?
Mhm.
So when's a
Yeah.
good time for us to meet? For me to take a look at your home.
Oh, maybe next week
Okay.
or
Okay. Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday
Okay, morning or afternoon.
afternoon
Okay, 1 or 2.
too.
Okay, so I'll see you Tuesday 2 p.m. So don't worry about it. You know, you don't have to make any decision. I know you're not ready now, but you know, I'm definitely gonna go over all the, you know, options that we have that can get you what you want. So I'll see you Tuesday at 2. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So again, right, you give them exactly what they want, right? Because what you said you don't want to make a decision. You don't want to sell right now. Okay, that's okay. You don't have to make any decision. You don't need to sell now. I'm not going there to pressure you into signing any document. I'm just going there to share with you some other options that you can consider, so you have more information to make your decision, right?
Mhm.
See, if you notice, like every time when we do some kind of a markup like this, the underlying psychology is the exact same. Just give them what they want. Do not argue.
Mhm.
Whatever they want, just give it to them. Because if you do not give to them, if you do not give them what they want, they're not gonna give you what you want. if they say, oh,
Wait a minute.
yeah, you have a question, Edward?
No, I was saying you're not gonna get an appointment.
Yeah. So let's say like in that situation, right? If another agent, they always think about, okay, how do I make sure they sign the appointment at the listing? So I want to make sure when I go there, I'm gonna sign the listing. If you already know the seller don't want to list, don't want to sell, if you still think like that, you want to sign the listing, you're not gonna get the appointment because you know what you want and what they want is different, right?
Mhm.
Because you will drive in trouble because in your mind you're thinking, oh, okay, so they don't want to sell, but I want them to sell. That's why you said there's no solution, because you have a different want from what they want. That's why you have a block. I don't know, did that solve your problem?
Yes, I think so, but I think sometime when I was getting such kind of answer,
Mhm.
I was trying to figure out what I should throw out to them. Like
Just
what
tell
you
them what they
said.
want. Just give them what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you said is kind of like, what were you thinking when you are selling at first spot? And
So
what was your motivation, kind of a gauge their motivation? Is that what you were doing, right?
So what I said is, since you don't want to sell now,
Mhm.
since you don't need to make a decision now, then I should go see the home. That way you don't even have to be pressured into doing anything, because I already know that you don't want to make a decision right now. Right?
You kind
That
of
makes sense.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yes.
Because they told you they don't want to make a decision. They say, okay, if you don't make a decision now, okay, I'm just gonna go take a look at home to share. If there's
What I said is, may I follow up with you?
no,
5
don't say
months
that.
later?
You cannot say that. Do not say follow up, because anytime
No.
you say follow up, it's done. It's gone.
Gone.
There's
They're gonna ghost you.
yeah, because here's what's gonna happen. You say you're gonna follow up, then turn around and then they get somebody like me. I'm gonna book the appointment and I'm sign the listing. Then you lost the opportunity.
I know
They're gonna ghost you.
exactly.
They're gonna see your phone number. They're not gonna answer.
Yeah. So you cannot say, okay, I'll follow up. Okay, there is maybe a chance that they really do not want to sell. In that case, you do just say follow up. But sometimes they're just saying that to get you
Get you, let you go.
Yeah, to get you off the phone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 19 people now, so I think we can start. Okay. Sorry, guys, we can start a little bit later today. Let me see. Okay, today we're talking about time management, and because a lot of people requested this topic, so we're just gonna get started because it's already late. Okay, 10 listings, 10 weeks challenge. Manage your it's actually managing your energy, not your time. Because what you'll see is, what you'll realize is, even if you have all the time in the world, if you're not in it, if your energy is not right, you're not gonna do anything. So it's not about managing time, it's about managing energy. So first we're gonna go through the learning process, okay? It's called mastery. So, okay, let me see. Participant cannot see a application. Okay, you guys can see it. You guys can see the slide, right? Everybody can see the slide? Okay. Okay, so first you have to believe, okay? So it's very important. We're talking about the learning process here, right? Okay, it's not particularly connected to time management or energy management, but it has to do with everything, everything, the underlying structure. So because if you do not get this, your time will not be used correctly, efficiently. So first you have to believe, okay, whatever you do, you have to believe. Whatever you learn, you have to believe. So for example, like what we're gonna go through today, you have to first have the open mind to actually check it out, to see what we're talking about. Some people, if they do not believe, they just go in and with a closed mind, then you're not gonna learn anything. Then your time is gonna be wasted. It's very easy. So do not try to reinvent something, okay? Because we're not doing startup here. We're operating a sales organization, right? A real estate company is a sales organization. So everything you need to know, all the expert skills, everything is already out there. You do not need to reinvent anything. You just copy and paste. That's the easiest way and the fastest way for you to learn, okay? So then you copy, then you memorize. For example, listing presentation, right? We did a listing presentation last time, right? If you want to be efficient, if you want to be able to sign the listing, you have to memorize the whole thing. How you memorize it? First, you memorize it, then you write the outline, then you go practice with the outline. That's how you do it, okay? And do it repeatedly until you memorize the whole thing. Because if you do not memorize, you will be distracted. Because if you do not memorize, you're not gonna have enough mental power to do everything else, to observe the customer, the seller, to know when to say what, to know when to move to the next stage. If you do not memorize the listing presentation, you will not have extra attention to do anything else. So that's why you have to memorize it, okay? So practice constantly. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the mind mastery. This is actually, the reason I include this here is because essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to operate a business, right? So this is actually from a Chinese word. There's actually a very popular book about this. It actually came from the Chinese word win, okay? The word win in English, W-I-N. The Chinese word is actually many small words, vocabulary combined together. So this is I'm going through this because we're talking about a sales organization, how to be efficient, how to manage time, right? So this is what you need to focus on in the real estate business. Number one, risk management. For example, people may sue you if you don't do the paperwork correctly. That's number one. Number two, call for deals, right? That's like call sellers, do marketing, all that's under this umbrella. You market on Facebook, WeChat, tell people about your business. You call sellers, you talk to them, you WeChat them. And the next one is you want to So the Chinese, this word is very tricky, is very intriguing. So this is basically telling you what you need to do to win in anything. So number one, you gotta have this mindset that you want to avoid, you want to calculate the risk, right? Number two, you want to talk, you want to communicate. You got to have the right way to, the ability to communicate correctly. You want to talk to the sellers. You want to, have the skill to communicate correctly. And then, this another letter, it means people, I think it means people. So it also probably means that's what I plug in here, control your mind and body. So it's the risk management, the talking, communication skill, and how you control yourself. And also the next character is about money. It's talking about cash flow and money, right? So if you don't have money, if you don't have cash flow, your business is gonna shut down, right? And the last one is time and energy. Actually, this is my interpretation. It's similar to what people have on the internet on this word. So this is the basics. If you want to be successful in any business endeavor, you need to cover all these parts. And so if you understand this, it's going to make you very efficient, because you would know what's important, what's not important. So you know what to focus on. That's the reason I put in here. Okay. Okay. The next one, like I said earlier, right? You got to believe, right? I can be what I want to be. You must trust in yourself 100%. Here's the thing. If you do not believe you can do it, most of your time will be wasted, because there's going to be a lot of internal turmoil. There's going to be a lot of wasted energy. There's going to be a lot of doubt. So if that's the outcome if you do not believe. Okay, that's why I put it here. You have to believe. Okay, you have to believe I can be what I will to be. Okay, with absolute certainty. So whatever you're going to do, you say, okay, I'm going to sell 20 homes a year. I'm going to sell 200 homes a year. You must have absolute certainty in your mind. I'm going to get it done. Okay. You have to trust it. You have to trust yourself. Okay. So this is also something you need to be conscious of. 95% of what you're thinking is unconscious. So you have to be mindful of that. Okay. If you do not, then you're going to be led on a path that's not right. Okay. So this idea came from Sigmund Freud. He's a famous psychologist. So he's talking about there's only 5%. The conscious mind is you only see that's the only 5% you see, but actually the subconscious mind, it's actually 95%. So that's why we talk about the control. You got to control your mind and body, because if you do not control your mind and body, you're just gonna be like a zombie. So every day your time is gonna be wasted. Okay, so now this segment, we're gonna go into you. Okay, so if you cannot figure yourself out, you will not be efficient. That's where we go. That's why we're going through this. How do you figure out yourself so you can be efficient? Number one is this. You have to do this test. If some of you have not done it, do it. Okay, figure out what you're best at and what you enjoy doing. It's important that you figure this out. Is because if, for example, me, I'm a high D, high I. So what does it mean? I like to, get stuff done. I like to, communicate. So if that's what I'm doing every day, I enjoy it. And I'm not, dreading doing it. So I will be more efficient. So let's say if I'm high D and high I, if I don't know about it, if I'm working on a job that's high C and high S, I will not be efficient. Like when I was very young, I didn't know about all this. So I went to apply for a job to work in like a factory to make a disc, like work on a machine. That doesn't align with my personality. So I worked there for a couple of days, and like it just totally didn't work for me. So because it required a lot of precision. That's just not me. So you have to understand your personality. You have to understand your personality, and you have to do what you're best at and delegate the rest. Okay. So for example, for real estate, so I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at marketing. So that's what I do. So I'm not very good at detail stuff like paperwork, the stuff. So I have my teammate to to focus on the paperwork. So that's what you need to do. So initially, obviously, you need to build up your finances to be able to do all this, but you can start one step at a time. For example, by getting a transaction coordinator on a deal by deal basis. So you don't have to pay the full time if initially. Okay, so your why. So you need to figure out your why. Okay, if you do not figure out your why, you're not gonna have the drive. If you do not have the drive, your daily routine is gonna be scattered. That's the only way for you to focus to be really efficient every single day is that you must have a clear why. Okay, the easiest way to figure out your clear why is who you are doing it for the loved ones. For example, for me, I think my why is for my mom. I mean, although I just recently got married, but my why is still for my mom because she's 83 now, and that's not a young age. So I want to do as much as I can. So you got to figure out who you are doing it for. Maybe your parents, your kids, your whatever. So you got to figure out who you're doing it for. Okay, you must have a clear idea. Also, so once you figure out who you're doing it for, then you must know your higher goal. Like for me, my higher goal is freedom. So my higher goal is my ideal outcome, my ideal dream life would be buy anything I want, go anywhere I want, go at any time I want. So you got to figure out your why, okay, your higher goal. So once you pinpoint your higher goal, then you will be very driven. If you have an unclear goal, or if you're not there to dream your goal, if you're not even daring enough to dream your goal, you will not be driven because you do not even dare to focus on the goal. How can you be driven? The only way you can be driven every single day is when you have a clear goal, and if you have a clear why. These things are very important, although it may be has nothing to do with time management or energy management, but actually this is the root of it. This is if you don't get it right, you will not be efficient. Okay, and also what lifestyle you want. I kind of talk about that. So yeah. Okay, also once you figure out your why, your goal, then you need to align your goal with your daily activity. Okay, for example, let's say if my goal is to sell 50 homes a year, then how many appointments do I need every day? How many presentations do I need to go every day? So that one thing, that presentation for me is the most important thing for me because I'm aligning my daily activity with my goal, my higher goal, right? You must, once you align it, then you know what you're supposed to do that day is the most important. So for me, if I do not do anything else, just go to listing presentation, that would be enough for me. Because if I just go to the listing presentation, and because I already have the skill, I'll sign the listing contract. So if I just kept going to listing appointment every single day and assign listing contract, I would fulfill my goal. Okay, that's why it's important. You must align. If whatever you're doing every day is not aligned with your higher goal, you will not be efficient because you don't know how to prioritize. So if you do not prioritize, if you're doing something that doesn't help you to reach your goal, then your time is wasted. So that's why you must align your daily activity with your higher goal. Okay. This is the easiest way to do it. If you don't remember anything else, just remember this slide, this one slide. Then that's all you need. If you just remember this one slide, if you just do, for example, we talked about this before, right? If you do not remember anything else we talked about, all you do is go into one listing presentation every single day. You will reach your goal. You will be successful. Okay. Another thing is very important is reward yourself. So for example, sometimes I go to a listing presentation after signing a contract, then I go to, sometimes I like to go shopping, whatever, go take a walk, whatever. Or if you like ice cream, go buy ice cream. So you must reward yourself because you're building up a positive habit. So it's very pleasant for you. So you're more motivated to go do it again. Right. So for example, if I go to a listing presentation, I sign the listing. Even if I do not sign the listing, I still reward myself because, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Right. So for example, sometimes I go to sign a listing. Last time I signed a listing appointment in Inglewood. So after I finish that, then I go to Citadel. There is an outlet next to nearby Los Angeles. Then I go hang out, I go, walk around and go buy some stuff. So reward yourself. So you want to build this positive energy within yourself. Okay. Okay. This one, debugging. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I still put it in here because I think it's very crucial. Because a lot of people are going through their life, without understanding what's the problem with themselves. Because if that's what you're doing, it's not going to work. Because if there's a bug in the computer code, then the code is not going to work correctly. It's the same thing with people. I'm not talking about just anybody in particular. I'm just, okay. So we'll go on. So number one, do not assume what you want. You must make it clear, like we talked about earlier, right? Think about your personality, your disc. Think about, who you're doing it for, what's your higher goal. You must have a clear goal, okay? Number two, you must make the decision. You must decide. What a lot of people do is they go through their life, never make the decision. Not a lot, but there's quite a few people like that. If you're going through your entire life on the fence, then you will not have any progress. There's a lot of people, they think like it happens in their life. It happened in my life before too. So early in my career, I already had my license, but I just didn't want to be a real estate agent. I was like, because people have this negative connotation of salesman. So although I got my license, but I didn't want to tell people I'm a real estate agent. So that's when I'm undecided. I have the license. I want to, on the one hand, I want to be a salesperson. On the other hand, I do not want people to know I'm a salesperson. So when you're like that, you're not going to be efficient because you're undecided. So you must decide. Okay. You must decide. How do you decide? Is number one, within yourself, you have made the decision. Number two, in your outside world, you let people know that this is what you do. I know even nowadays, there's still a lot of realtors that do not want posts on the Facebook or WeChat about what they do because they think, oh, I don't want people to know I'm a salesman. There's still a lot of realtors like that. Do not be that person, okay? Because it doesn't matter what you do, you can be successful in it. There's no, oh, this job is better, that job is better. There's no such thing, okay? So if you can be successful, be top agent in this industry, then you'll be a success. Right, so you must decide in yourself, and also decide to let people know that you have decided. It's very important. Okay, if you do not decide, you're just gonna every day you're gonna go back and forth. Then your energy is wasted because you have this internal turmoil. You have this internal argument with yourself. Believe it or not, a lot of people like this. Do not be that person. Next. You want to unload all negativities and limitations. Okay, this is hard to do, but you got to figure it out on your own. I cannot help you. I'm not a psychologist. So, everybody have a lot of negativities. Okay, like let me see. Yeah. So anyway, there's too much. I'm not gonna explain because this is a deep topic, but you can figure it out on your own. Okay. This is what we talked about. You must believe in yourself 100%. Every day you must tell yourself the story, the right story. Basically, whether you believe yourself or not, is depending on you. Like this past weekend, I was talking with a couple other people. So one person said, "Okay, if I can make this happen," then the other person stopped him. So the guy is David. He said, "If I can make this happen," then Nancy, she's a top producing realtor. She sells, I think, like 500 homes a year or something. So she told David, she said, "Do not say if. If you say if, it means you're not committed. It means you do not believe you can do it. You must say, when I reach this goal." You must just start from the beginning. Believe it in yourself 100%. You must believe in yourself. If you do not believe in yourself, everything you do is not gonna have the commitment in it. So you must believe in yourself. And only after you believe in yourself, then everything you do every day will have the commitment, the 100% commitment. It's like when you go to a listing presentation, right? When you go to a listing presentation, if you do not believe you're the best agent for the seller, it shows. The seller will not believe you either. That's why you have to first believe in yourself. Then the seller will believe you. It's the same thing with your life and with your energy and with your time. You want to be fearless, okay? Because right now we're talking about what? We're talking about debugging yourself, right? Debugging, yeah. A lot of people are timid. A lot of people are scared. If you want to make something happen, you cannot be timid. You cannot be scared. Okay, for example, so sometimes like for the, okay, what, you know, some people say, oh, I want to put the home on the market, but I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want people to see me, I don't want to. So there's, everybody have different fear. If you're gonna do business, if you want to be a top sales, you cannot have fear. Okay, you cannot worry about what people say about you. You cannot, just like I'm talking to you guys right now, right? If I'm worried, oh, how do I look? How's my hair? Do I look fat? So also when I do TikTok too. So when I'm doing TikTok, I'm not worried about how I look. But for a long time, I was worried about how I look. Then I discovered people do not care how you look. Okay, you do not worry too much. Do not, you know, concern too much about you. Just think about how you can help other people. Okay, this is very important. So a lot of people, they have this fear, all kind of fear, that keeps them at bay from, you know, actually live their full life. This is important too. So a lot of us, at some time in our life, we have people that's close to us that's not a good influence. It could be anybody. It could be your parents, could be your kids, could be your friends. If they're not a good influence for you, I'm not saying you're gonna, you know, leave them, but, you know, for example, let's say I'm just gonna use my dad as an example. So my dad, his mentality, he's like this, like rich dad, poor dad, right? My dad has this poor dad mentality. The whole time, my whole life, he's telling me, oh, you gotta go get a job so you can have a stable income. That's his mentality, right? So he's always arguing with me on this topic. So my solution is, I mean, he's still my dad. I just don't talk about this kind of stuff with him anymore. So that's how I disassociate. Because there's no sense for you to talk to somebody that have a completely different outlook in life. There's no way to win because they're always gonna think their way. You're always gonna think your way. There's no use to argue with them. You do not need to argue with them. Just don't talk about it. Just do your own thing. That's what I mean by associate. But sometimes you might have some really bad friends, right? For example, they do drugs, they whatever. You know, for those people, if they're not your family, then you just move. You just cut it off. Get some new friends, right? Then once you dissociate with the wrong people, then you want to associate with the right people, right? So they say if you want to know how much you make, just look at the 6 people that you interact, that you hang out with the most. Let's say the 6 people you interact with the most, let's say if their average income is 100,000, then most likely that's going to be your income. So if you want to increase your income, you want to, let's say if you make it 100,000 now, let's say if your goal is to make $1 million a year, then the easiest way, the quickest way to make $1 million a year is just find a new set of friends that they're all making $1 million a year. Okay, this one is kind of important too. You want to master your skill. We talked about this, like your presentation skill, your objection handling skill, your phone call skill. You want to master all that. If you do not master your skill, there's no way you can be efficient. Because here's the thing. If you do not have the skill, you will not be efficient. The reason is, let's say if you don't have the presentation skill you need, every time you go to the presentation, you don't get the contract signed. If this kept going on, you will feel demoralized, and then your energy will drain, and then you will go the wrong direction. But I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you to do more of it, and to continue to increase your skill, because you want to get into that positive cycle. Once you get that into the positive cycle, your skill is up. You are able to meet with the client. You are able to sign the contract, and you reward yourself after you sign the contract. Then everything feels really good. Then your energy is very strong. Then the next time you go to another seller, you become more confident. The next time you go to another seller, you become more confident. Then you start signing more contract. So that's why you must have the skill that you need to succeed. Now, another thing. So I kind of point this out, is very important too, because you must think outside of the box. You cannot be an order taker. If you're gonna be an order taker, you're gonna lose everywhere. So this is like a Dr. Seuss said, right? Think left, think right, think low, think high. Oh, the things you can think up if you only try. So it's like going through the wall, right? You can go under the wall, you can go up the wall, you can go left the wall, you can go right around the right side of the wall. So you want to think outside the box. That's how you can create the outcome you want. That's how you can get what you want. Because let's say if you continue to lose, then your energy will be drained. You will lose hope. You will lose trust and believe in yourself. If that continues to happen, then you're done. You will not be successful. A big reason that people always lose and not succeed is because their thinking is so robotic. You cannot be a robot. You cannot be an order taker. You have to think outside the box. You have to be very creative in the solutions. It's just like the example I just did a call with Gloria, right? If every time the seller tell you, okay, we don't want to sell now, then you just click, hang up. Oh, we only want to sell 6 months later. You just say, oh, I'll follow up, right? If every time they say we'll sell in 6 months, you just say I'll follow up. Then you're not thinking outside the box, right? You must think outside the box. How do you think outside the box? If they say we only want to sell 6 months later, okay, it's okay, but we can still meet now, right? So we can talk about the options. So you want to think outside the box, because if you don't, you're not gonna get the result you want. Okay, so we talked about this last time before, but we're gonna talk it more in detail. This is the master. This is how you control your mind and body. Okay, this is very important. So the master, we talked about it before: meditate, assert, see it, take notes, exercise, readjust. So if you do this every day, so I borrowed this from the Miracle Morning. That's a very popular book, but the author, he had a different way to set this up. So I kind of make some changes with a different acronym, master. If you have a chance, you can pick up that book. It's called The Miracle Morning. It's a very popular book. Okay, so first you want to meditate. Okay, I'm gonna go back. So the reason you want to do all this is so that you can have clear control of your mind and body. Okay, the reason you want to control your body is because when you control your body, it's going to help you to control your mind. If you cannot control your body, there's no way you're going to be able to control your mind. Okay, there's another book called the Master Key System. So that's a very popular book too. So he talked a lot about this, how to control your mind first and control your body. It's called the Master Key System. So first, you want to meditate, right? So to meditate, I'm not very good at meditating, but I try to do it. So if you're new at meditation, just start small. Maybe meditate for 3 minutes, 1 minute, doesn't matter. Just start small, gradually, okay? Then you got to assert. So here's what I do every morning when I wake up. First, I meditate, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Then I assert. Okay, I'm going to sign a listing appointment today. I'm going to sell 50 homes this year. Assert what you want. Okay, like I said earlier, you got to believe in yourself. Okay. Number 2, you want to see it. You want to visualize it, right? So what I do is, okay, I'm going to imagine, okay, once I sell 50 homes a year, what would that look like? Or once I buy this property, what would that look like? Once I buy this car, what would that look like? You want to visualize your success, okay? Then you want to take notes. So this morning, I actually, finished this presentation this morning. I was in a time pinch. I was getting worried for then because there's so much topic. That's why we need one more session, maybe one more session about energy next time, because there's so many topics. So what I did is I wrote down. So by the way, I recommend this to you guys. This is called a remarkable tool. I don't know if you can see it. There is a background. Okay, this is a remarkable tool. So it's a electronic notebook. So you can change your font. You can change your stroke size. You can erase and rewrite everything. You can write unlimited pages, thousands of pages, and you can sync it to your phone. So this morning, and this battery life is very long. Once you charge once, it's gonna last you for like maybe 5 to 7 days. So this morning I was having a problem. I don't know what I need to cover because there's so many topics. So I brainstormed all the topics, and then I just rearranged the topics. But you can only do it when you're writing it down. If you do not write it down, there's no way you can get it done in your mind. That's why it's important to write it down. So sometimes if you're in decision, we talk about decision, right? It's very important. You must make the decision. Sometimes when you find that you don't know what decision you should make, write it down. Write down all the options. Once you find out, once you write down all the options, then it will become very clear to you. That's why I say take a note, okay? Also exercise. Remember, we'll talk about all this. The goal is control your mind and your body. If your body is not right, there's no way you can control your mind, okay? Let's say if you have some pain, like a really strong pain in your body, then your mind is going to be all focused on the pain. So there's no way you can control your body. There's no way you can control your mind. So that's why you must be in good health, okay? Because there's a famous Chinese guy. He said, if you want to like achieve grand success, you must have a strong body. It's important, right? Because if you do not have a strong body, you will not have the energy to achieve anything, right? Because when we try to go achieve something, it takes a lot of work. You must have the energy. Without energy, you cannot do anything, okay? That's why, how do you get energy? You must exercise. And then every day you gotta readjust, right? So I mean, sometimes, what do I mean by readjust? Sometimes, let's say if you made 500 phone calls, you still didn't sign up get a listing appointment, then you want to tell yourself, hey, be strong. Let's do it another time tomorrow. Let's be positive, right? Readjust. That sometimes, let's say, if I sign 3 listing contract today, then I become a little bit cocky. Then you want to tell yourself, hey, you gotta stay humble. Do not be cocky. Stay humble. Let's do it another. Let's keep going tomorrow. So you want to readjust yourself every day. When you're too down, you want to make yourself strong. When you're too proud, you want to bring yourself down a little bit, make yourself humble. So you readjust every day. Okay, so we finished talking about the master, how to control your mind and body. Now we're going to talk about how to master your energy. Okay, before we talk about how to master your mind and body, in this little mini session, we're going to talk about how to master your energy. Okay, it's going to answer a lot of questions you guys had before. Okay, number 1, you want to control your mind and body, which we talk about, right? So do this every morning. Number 2, you want to decide, like we talked about earlier, right? No indecision, okay? Number 3, once you make the decision, then you will have one goal and the same direction. If you do, that's why you need to decide. If you do not have to make the decision, if you have not decided, you will not have one goal. You will have multiple goals. If you have multiple goals, you will not reach any of the goals, right? For example, let's say if you're driving, right? The only way for you to reach the destination is when you GPS to one direction, one destination, right? If you have 2 destinations, there's no way you can get there because you are undecided, right? That's why you must decide. You must have one goal. Only after you have one goal, then you have one direction, right? Let's say if your goal is to set your GPS to go to the airport, then you will have the correct route to go to the airport. Let's say if you do not have one goal, you have 2 goals, then you will not have one direction. You would have multiple directions, right? Because then you will be all turmoil. That's why it's important. You must make the decision, and you must narrow down to one goal, and do not sit on fence. We're talking about this session is how to master your energy. Okay, how to master your energy. after you decided what you're gonna do, you want to align your daily activity with the goal, with the focus. Okay, so your goal, align your goal with your daily task. Align it. Let's say if your daily goal is to sell, let's say your yearly goal is to sell, let's say 20 homes. Then every day what you do, your daily goal will be going to listing presentation. Let's say if your goal is to sell 20 homes a year, your daily goal is to go show one buyer every day. That doesn't align, right? So if your daily goal is to show one buyer every day, it's not going to help you to get 50 listings, because it's not the same goal. Well, some people may say, oh, if I show enough buyers, some buyer may have a home to sell. It's correct, but it's still not going to reach your goal because it's not the same goal, right? So, like I said earlier, if you do not do anything else, just do this one thing. Let's say if you go to sell 20 homes a year or 50 homes a year, whatever, just go to one listing presentation every day, then you will reach your goal. Even if you don't sell 50 homes, you might sell 30 to 20. You're still gonna be, very close to your goal. So if you do not do anything else, just go to listing presentation. Okay, that's why it's important. Must align your goal with your daily task. Okay. This session will talk about how to maximize your energy. The reason I talk about this is because, let's say if your goal is not aligned, then you're gonna do a lot of other stuff. Then your energy will be very low. You will not have energy to do anything else. You're gonna go, check email. You're gonna go show homes. You're gonna go do this, go that, go do that. Then you're not gonna have energy to sign listing, to go to listing presentation, because you're scattered. What we're talking about in this mini session is how to optimize your energy. To optimize your energy, you must decide. You must, narrow down on one goal. You must align your daily activity with that goal. So the daily activity that's gonna help you reach your goal, if you just focus on that, you're gonna have a lot of energy. If you do not focus, if you're doing everything else, then you're gonna have low energy. And you're gonna be frustrated because you're not gonna get the outcome. Another important thing, you must price tag your time. So this is the 20-80 rules, right? So let's say if your goal is to sell 30 or 20 homes a year, let's say all you do is go help a buyer to buy some grocery. When you go to the buyer, go help the buyer to buy grocery, that's not giving you the right return, right? So you shouldn't do that, because that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not the activity you're supposed to do. That's not the 20% activity that's going to bring you the 80% outcome, right? So you want to price tag your time, okay? So you only want to do the 20% activity that has a much higher price tag that can bring you the 80% outcome, okay? Number 6, only do what you can change the outcome. Let's say if your goal is to sell 20 listings, get 20 listings a year and sell 20 listings a year, then what you're supposed to do is to go through the listing presentation, because when you go through the listing presentation, you can change the outcome, right? Because that's something you can control. So what are the examples that you cannot change the outcome? It's you're gonna go help a client to go get some grocery. By you going to help the client to go get a grocery, will that help you to get a listing? No, right? It doesn't help you to change the outcome, so you should not do it. Number 7, only work with real clients. I think Michael, right? We talked about this last time. Do not work with people that's not real client. There's people I know, they're bored. They just have you go show them homes every day. Do not do that. Okay, you do not help those kind of people. They're not real client. It's like every time when you go to an attorney's office, every time when you go to a doctor's office, what do? They have you sign a contract, right? If you don't sign a contract, they're not going to service you, right? Attorneys and doctors, they do not work with fake client. You should not either. right? You as a realtor, you will only work with a real client. I'm not saying every client you work, they have to sign something, but at least you must know they're legitimate. They're gonna buy. They're a real client. Do not waste time. We all have made this mistake. When I was earlier in my career, I have showed some buyers like a couple weeks. They still don't buy. Do not bother. They're just wasting your time. Okay. Only work with real client. Do not waste your time on fake clients. Okay. So everything I'm talking about here is, if you notice, the underlying idea is that you want to focus, you want to eliminate the unnecessary and focus on the necessary. That's how you can optimize your energy. Number 8, you want to control the incoming. What I mean is, for example, we're in the course here right now, right? We're teaching a course right now. If somebody's gonna call me right now, I'm not gonna pick up the phone. This is what I mean by control your incoming. Let's say if your goal is to sell 20 homes a year, your goal is to go to every one listing appointment, to get one listing appointment, and then go to one listing presentation a day. Then ideally, you should not do anything else before that's achieved. Let's say in the morning, 9 o'clock, a friend called you, or actually a home that a buyer, you already helped them buy a home, and today is the time to do inspection, and the inspection is 9 a.m. But you have not got a listing appointment, you have not been to a listing presentation. If your goal is to get 20 listings and sell 20 listings a year, what you supposed to do? Somebody tell me. In this situation, you have a buyer, you're supposed to go into the buyer presentation to go to inspection today at 9 a.m. But your goal is to sell 20 homes a year, and to achieve that, you're supposed to book listing appointment today, and go to a listing presentation today. What are you supposed to do in this situation? Somebody tell me. Anybody have an answer? Anyone? Okay. In this situation, if it was me, I would not go to the inspection, because I have my goals. My goal is to sell 50 homes, to get 50 listings a year. If I do not book appointment today, if I do not go to a listing presentation today, it's not going to help me to get that 50 listing. But who's going to do the inspection? I'll have to arrange it to have my teammate to go, or to have my coworkers to go, wherever. Okay, this is what I mean. You need to control your environment. You need to know what to prioritize. If you don't reach the goal, you have to be strict on the time like this. Like sometimes, because we have a lot of listings, right? A lot of times I have a whole bunch of agents call me. If I'm in the middle, let's say if I'm in a listing presentation, I'm not going to pick up the phone, because the listing presentation is my priority. Okay, you have to throw away the idea of multitask. There's no way you can multitask. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Nobody can multitask. Finish what's important first, then do the rest. You cannot do all at the same time. Okay. Number 9, we talked about this before. You must master skills. You got to be able to do it. Okay. Number 10, you got to leverage. Okay, like we talked about before. For example, if you cannot go, if there is a schedule conflict, if you haven't set up an appointment, if you have not been to a listing presentation that day yet, if that's what you must get done that day, then you need to have somebody to go do the inspection for you. That's leverage, right? Okay. So any questions so far? I don't know. It might be a little kind of conceptual. I try to give as much example as possible, but it's very important. So before it was kind of conceptual. Now we're going to try to be more concrete. So we're going to say, okay, so for you, what your daily routine and the schedule should be look like, okay, for you. If you want to, get a lot of listings, what's your daily schedule must look like, okay? Number one, again, master, right? You want to every day morning, you want to make sure you are in control of your mind and body. Number two, get the one thing done first and early. Let's say, okay, because I'm on a good listing, book appointment. Then the one thing I'm gonna do in the morning is to book a book appointment. That's the most important. Doesn't matter. I post in WeChat, post in Facebook, call my past client, or WeChat my past client, or Facebook my past client. So the number one thing you need to do every morning is to get that appointment.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I worked at my offices that are primarily my very offices before.
Yeah.
Some of the agents in there were calling expired at 7 o'clock in the morning. What time do you start?
7, I don't know, it's probably too early. So maybe eight and eight.
You start at 8?
Somebody
Yeah.
does. So I mean, there's no. You could start at 7. It's just some people are gonna.
It's like the first.
Some
early
people.
bird gets the worm.
Some people gonna scream at you. That's for sure. But you maybe gonna get somebody that's wake up early. I mean, it's maybe good because 7 o'clock is when
the early bird gets a worm. That was their fault.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it. I mean, you just gotta be prepared. Somebody's gonna scream at you.
I have another question. I used to have a really strong self-belief that I can set an appointment a day, and I seem to have lost that. How do you redevelop that mindset?
What's the question?
I used to have a really strong self-belief that I can set one appointment a day.
Okay.
2 appointments a day, and then I've lost that over the last few years. How do you redevelop that again?
We'll talk about that. I'll see if we have enough time. If not, we're going to talk about next time. The key to get that is a baby step and a fast reward, and trick yourself into doing it. So, for example, let's say if you, I think I covered that. I'm not sure if it's this time or next time, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
So yeah, like I'll give you a short example. So a couple years ago, I did a blood test and it was really bad, like high cholesterol, everything high, and I wasn't feeling very good.
Yeah.
So I started implementing walking exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, I was just walking maybe I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. So then I gradually increased it. Now I'm walking about half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the night. So now I'm walking about 10,000 steps a day. So you just baby step and celebrate the minor like incremental success. That's like building the habit, right? Building the success habit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ray.
Yeah. Okay, so we talk about, right? So we're talking about the schedule you need to follow as a if you want to get a lot of listing. Okay, I mean you could have your own schedule, but this is just mine. Just give you as an example. Number one, master own your mind and body. Number two, get the one thing done early. For me, that's booking an appointment, right? Or for you, any one of you, that's booking an appointment. You must book the appointment, okay? Because this is your priority, right? Because this is aligned with your goal. Let's say if you do not book appointment today, you will not have appointment tomorrow. That's the reason is the most important thing. That's the reason you need to do it as early as possible, because we have better energy. We're much stronger. We have much more energy in the morning. So that's why you want to do the most important thing in early in the morning. Because if you're gonna postpone, then you're just gonna end up not doing it. Then you're gonna get into this procrastination downward spiral, and you're gonna feel bad about yourself. You're gonna think you're like a loser if you continue to procrastinate. That's why you do not want to procrastinate. Just get it done in the morning. A lot of people, sometimes they get up and they check email. Do not do that. Email is the worst thing, because think about it. Somebody said about this, I forgot who said it. Email, if you're gonna check email, that means anyone in the world at any time can tell you what to do. That's what email is. If you think about it, it's really true. If you're gonna sit there every morning and check the email, that means 1,000, 10,000 people in the world, unlimited number of people in the world can tell you every single day what to do. They send you an email, you go click and open the email. You're doing what they're telling you to do. you have no energy to check out the email. So email is not the most important thing you need to do in the morning. The most important thing you need to do in the morning is to get the appointment, right? Remember alignment? You need to align your goal with your daily activity, right? Like I said earlier, if you do not remember anything else, just remember this slide too. If you just remember this slide, then you will be a success. Book appointment every single day. Once you book appointment, then you market your brand. That's also help you to book appointment. You know, post something on Facebook, post something on WhatsApp, post something on WeChat, post something on Instagram, whatever, TikTok, YouTube. Post something every single day. Then, you know, talk to the seller, book appointment, same thing. Talk to your seller every single day. Again, this is the routine for you if you want to be a successful listing agent. Book appointment, talk to a seller, post something about what you do, just sold a home, just listed a home, just got a good review. Do that every day. If you don't do anything else, just do this. If you do not do anything else, just do these 7 things every single day. You'll be successful for sure. There's no way you're gonna be successful if you really do this 7 things every single day. Book an appointment, right? Like we said earlier, book appointment. If you don't book appointment today, you're not gonna have an appointment tomorrow, right? If you do not book appointment tomorrow, you're not gonna have an appointment the day after. Book appointment. That's your priority. Go to a presentation, right? If you do not go to a presentation, you're not gonna have a listing sign. If you don't get a listing sign, you're not gonna have a listing. And sign the listing. That's it for today. Well, luckily I finished the presentation until this morning because I flew back late last night, and I was trying to finish presentation last night, but I was really sleepy, so I went to sleep and got up like at 6 a.m. in the morning, then started working on the presentation. There is still a lot of content that I haven't covered, so we'll probably do another session on time management and energy management. Because it is very important. Do you guys have any questions? Was it helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? So yeah, we started about 10:20. So right now it's 11:13. We talked about 50 minutes. So it doesn't have to be, question doesn't have to be related to today. It could be anything. Like any question you have about listing, about sales, about any obstacles you have before during the weeks or during the past couple weeks. Yeah, if you have a question, you need to ask, because if you do not ask the question, if there's something continue to bother you, then you're not gonna have progress. If you can figure it out, then you can, move forward.
Ray, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned you have a notebook that you can write down. Can you text us what that is? Maybe we can find that on Amazon.
Yeah, it's called Remarkable. I'll text it. Okay.
Remarkable.
Yeah, they have 1 and 2. So the 2 is kind of expensive. The 1 is much cheaper, I think. The 2 is like $300 some, but it's worth it. It's because before, every time I take a note on some piece of paper, then it's gone. But this one, you take you take a note. It's all the information is digital, so you can sync it to your cell phone too. So you can find it, you can save it. So, and you can write unlimited pages, thousands of pages, and you can erase it too. Yeah. And the battery life is really long. It's like, past couple days, I use it like at least 4 or 5 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day. And it lasted for like, I think at least 5 days, 5 to 6 days.
Is that chargeable?
Yeah, it's chargeable. Yeah. So let's say if you only charge it, if you only use it once a day, because sometimes when I go to listing presentation, I use this to take note. If you only use it 1 hour a day, you can use it probably for at least 20 days to 30 days before you need to charge it. Yeah. And it's very tiny too. It's just like
Can you use this like a board to show clients?
Yeah. That's what I do too. Sometimes I use this to draw to show them. For example, let's say if I'm gonna draw them the price line, the price scale, I just draw it on here to show them. You can draw it and while you're explaining to them, you can draw on here too.
You can do that with an iPad?
No, it's iPad is different. iPad doesn't feel like paper. This one, although it's electronic, but it feels like writing on paper.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, if nothing else, then we're gonna conclude today's session. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you call in the afternoon?
Doesn't matter, whatever works for you.
You're calling all day long?
No, for my coworker, I tell them you can call anytime you want, as long as between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Oh.
Whatever works for you. There's no one answer.
Okay.
You just, I mean, yeah, it's, I mean, some people say, oh, when you call late at night, like 6 or 7 p.m., people are more likely to pick up the phone. But you know, there's just so many variables. There's really, you really have no control. So I think most important thing is just whenever you have time to call, just call. Because you know, otherwise, if you're gonna say, oh, the best time to call is between 6 and 8 p.m., then you happen to have something to do that you cannot call at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then you're not gonna do the call, right? So do not be picky on that. Just whenever you have time to call, just call.
I think if you're calling expired, you should call early because after about an hour or so, they're not picking up the phone any longer.
Oh, they're gonna get a lot of times they get pissed off.
Yeah.
I have hundreds of people call me. Are you guys crazy?
Yeah. So you want to be one of the first ones that call.
Just call anytime because you never know. Sometimes they didn't pick up the phone. Sometimes they didn't turn on their phone. You know, it's just.
Maybe sometime in the afternoon they feel comfortable talking to you and they have some time off for the work, or they don't have time to talk in the morning when during their work hours.
That's why I say don't have any assumption, because you know many people maybe they're retired or they're working from home. You know.
Yeah. If you call old expireds, you can call them all day long, but the ones that come out the first of the morning, they get hammered pretty quickly. So you want to call them early.
Okay, it comes back to what we talk about, right?
Yeah.
Get it done early. Yeah. Because if you don't get it done early, you're not gonna do it. If you don't do it, then you don't have the outcome, right? It's like a cause and a result, right? You got to call to be able to talk to the seller. You got to book the appointment to have the appointment. You know, you got to go to the appointment to do the presentation. You got to have the presentation to have a signed contract. So, you know, you got to do those things to make it happen. So it doesn't matter when you do it. You just got to do it. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it complicated. Just tell yourself, okay, every day I'm going to call 1 hour, or every day I'm going to talk to 10 sellers or 10 friends. Just make a simple rule. That's the thing. We're going to talk about this next time, which is about habit. The most important thing about building a habit is you cannot make it too complicated. It's like, because somebody said about, there's some guy, they talked about going to a gym, building up the habit to go to the gym. So what they do is they leave a space and they put a pair of outfit on each spot. So they put 7 outfits on the table. So this is a way to help them to reduce the friction to go to the gym. You want to reduce the friction, that's the word. You do not want so much friction that you say you're going to do it, you're not going to end up not going to do it. That's why he put 7 outfits on the table. That way, every time he said, okay, oh, I got to go to the gym again, but he doesn't want to do it. He's kind of struggling. Okay, the outfit's already there, then pick it up, I go. Let's say if you do not have the outfit there, then you'd be like, okay, my outfit is dirty. I have nothing to wear to go to the gym. Then that's your excuse not go to the gym. So the key for the building up the habit is you want to reduce the friction. You want to do whatever you can to set up this perfect scenario so that you do not have that friction. You do not give yourself that reason to not do it. It's very important because here's the thing. Once you do it, once you make it into a habit, then it's not going to be that hard anymore. Then it's no longer going to be a decision. It's only hard when it's a decision that you have to make. That's why when you see like who's that guy, the Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, you see him every day, he wears the same clothes. He wears the same t-shirt, but he has the same t-shirt, same color, same style, but he has 100 of those. He's changing clothes every day, but he just wears the same style of clothes. So he's eliminating the decision-making process in his wardrobe, because that's not as important, because he's going to make it automatic. So if you want to make sure, it goes both ways. So if you want to make sure that you're going to talk to a seller every single day, then you like make some trick to yourself. Say, okay, here's, I'll give you an example. So sometimes I should have to do it more often. So what I do is I make sure I share my post on WeChat group, at least 30 groups every day, because every time when you share, you can only share, I think, 9 groups, right? So before, when I was sharing it, I was trying to do it every day. So because I have so many groups, I have like 500, 400 groups. They're not all mine. They're some other people's group. So before, when I was sharing the group, I tried to go by sequence. Okay, I shared the first 9. They're gonna come back and to look where I shared the last 9. Then I'm gonna go share the next 9, the next line 9. It's very difficult because it's hard to go look for where I stopped last time. So I didn't want to do it because too much work. It's very tiring to look for the group where I shared last time. So instead, what I did is, instead of sharing the same sequence, I just picked the first 9, and when I come back, I just go down to the 500 groups. Just pick any next 9 groups. It doesn't matter. Then I share the 9. Then I come back again. I share the last 9. I just go down all the way to the end. Just pick whatever 9. So that way, I'm more likely to share to promote myself on WeChat, because I'm trying to make it easier for me wanting to do it. You want it to make it easy for you, right? Doesn't matter if it's to get on the phone to call expired, or to go to talk to the seller on WeChat or call them. You want to make it easy. You want to set it up just like that. Outfit. The guy that goes to the gym, he put 7 outfits on the table so that every time before he go to the gym, he just pick the one outfit and go. That way he doesn't have the excuse to say, oh, I don't have the outfit, so I'm gonna go to the gym. Same thing. So you want to make it as frictionless as possible. But once you build up this habit, so we're actually going to talk more about this. Once you build up this habit, and you go to the appointment every day, you call the seller every day, then it's going to be much easier. And especially when you start to see the outcome, then so the habit is really hard to build. Just like I was sharing with you guys about the disc, right? Initially, when I was trying to learn disc, I didn't want to do it because my mind is not used to it. Because my mind is lazy. I don't want to learn the disc and copy the disc. Initially, I didn't want to do it, but I kept trying. Every chance I get, I just do it. I practice it. When I go, buy something in the grocery line, I turn around and talk to the person. I try to figure out the disc. When I go get a good Uber, I talk to the Uber driver. I try to figure out the disc. So as I was doing it, then now I become totally accustomed to it. It's like I don't have to think. It's easy. I just do it. So you need to get your mind to be comfortable at doing something that you were not comfortable doing before. It's the same with everything, with calling the seller, with the expired call, with presentation. You just gotta do it. You just gotta give yourself as many opportunities as possible to do it. That's why I was saying that if nothing else, you just do that one thing. Every day, book an appointment. Every day, go to presentation. The good outcome is that you're gonna build a habit. Another good outcome is you're gonna continue to improve because you're doing it every day. And if you're doing all this every day, then everything is gonna become reality. It's like just like me nowadays. I go to appointment. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna sign 100%, but because I've been doing it so much, I'm very confident that most likely I'm gonna sign the listing contract because I've been doing it for so long, so many times. Anything else? Okay, if nothing else, we're gonna conclude the session today. So are you guys okay? We talk more about the how to do time, how to manage time, because there's still a couple other topics I think very important we haven't covered yet. Okay, so because the time management is very important. Yeah, go ahead.
Great, I have a question. This is kind of more detailed, but let's say, for example, you're calling and then you use whatever dialing service you use, they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But let's say, for example, you didn't get a hold of certain people today, right? You didn't get a hold of 5 people. Do you create another bucket so this way you can call them the next day?
Okay, that's something different. So every day when you go call the expire, you just start just with the expire.
Yeah, well, the new, like, let's say, for example, like I've been calling expire for years, right? And I use Mojo. But let's say, for example, you didn't get a hold of this person today, right? There's 5 people you didn't get a hold of. Do you create another bucket so this way you can call them the next day?
So that's the thing we talked about earlier, right? It's about friction, right? So just by talking about this, it sounded like more work.
Yeah,
so
it's more work.
If it sounded like more work, then most likely you're not gonna do it. So the way to make it not more work is maybe you can put all the people like this in a list and upload to the Redx or Vulkan 7, whatever, so that you can auto dial as well.
Yeah, well, I use a Mojo auto dialer.
Yeah,
so,
because let's say if you're gonna do your expire call, after your expire call, you're gonna come back and dial these people one by one. You're not gonna do it because it's just too much friction.
Too much work.
Yeah, the only way you will be able to do it is to put all that in the Excel sheet and upload to the power dialer and dial them, just like when you're dialing any other expired call. The reason the power dialer is make it so much more efficient is because it removed most of the friction. That's why you can dial so many numbers in a short time, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if you don't have the power dialer to dial 600 numbers, that's gonna take you months.
Right. Yeah.
You're gonna dial the number, pick up the phone, dial the number, hang up, and pick up the phone.
So then you're just calling the new ones every day, not calling the ones you didn't get a hold of. You're just calling the new ones.
Yeah, just call the new ones. But that's if you create a long list of 300 people that you think they might sell, then you upload them and call again.
Yeah, or get an assistant to call them.
That's the key. Okay, that's the key.
Yeah.
About the cold call, the expire calling. Remember, the goal is not to talk to everyone. We're not trying to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
The key,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Because then you can get bogged down. I get bogged down calling. All right, you need to talk to 20 of these. Let's try to call them again.
Do not be
and
perfect.
Then it just gets.
Because when you're trying to be perfect, you're not gonna do it. It just sounds too much work. It just sounds like too much work. Do not be perfect. That's the most important. Do not try to be perfect. Okay.
So
I gotta call the expire. Then after that, I gotta make sure I call all the other 20 people. If you think like that, you're not gonna do it because it's too much work.
Yeah, it's a headache.
Yeah. You wanna make it sound easy. At least trick yourself into thinking it's easy. Then you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because you can make it as perfect as you want, but if you're not doing it, if you're not consistent, it's not gonna work. The key is consistency. You must do it every day.
All right, thanks, Ray. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I heard you said something like Excel. What did you mean by Excel? Do you want to?
So for the power dialer, sometimes what you do is, because the easy way to do it, you just dial whatever that's new expired for the day, right? For either Vulkan 7 or Redx, whatever. So because they just come up automatically. Sometimes let's say if you have a list of sellers, let's say 500 in Excel sheet, you can upload the Excel sheet to the program, to the dialer, and then it's gonna automatically dial for you.
Oh,
yeah. You wanna use a power dialer because okay, let's say if you just have 10, that's okay. You can call one by one. If you have anything more than that, like a 20, 40, 50, 100, because okay, every one of us every day, there is such a thing as decision fatigue. If you had to constantly make 100 decisions every single day, you're gonna get tired. That's why Mark Zuckerberg, he's wearing the same T-shirt every day. He doesn't have to make a decision on that. So you have to make whatever you need to do that's important that you're telling yourself you must do as frictionless as possible, as decisionless as possible. That's why I was telling you, that's why we're talking about decision making. You want to make sure to make that big decision. Make it. Decide. I'm gonna be the listing agent. I'm gonna sell 50 homes a year. It's decided. Once you decide it, then in order to do that, I need to book an appointment every single day. I need to talk to 10 sellers every single day. I need to go to a listing presentation every single day. So those subcategory will not be the decision or anymore. That's already decided. That's what I'm going to do. Then every day you do not need to make decision on that anymore because that's already non-negotiable. If you still got every day and continue to consider, should I call the 10 people today? Should I go to listing presentation today? Should I talk to 10 sellers today? If that's still your decision, it's not gonna work because you're gonna have decision fatigue. And once you have decision fatigue, then you're gonna have procrastination.
Yeah.
Once you have procrastination, then you're gonna feel defeated. You're gonna be feeling defeated. Once you feel defeated, then your energy is gone. You're not gonna have the energy. Then once you feel defeated, then you have the internal turmoil. Then you're fighting within yourself. That's why I kept saying, you gotta make sure even inside yourself, only one direction. Within yourself, only one direction. Get listing, listing appointment, listing contract, listing presentation. That's the only thing you're going after. You're not in an internal battle with yourself. Internally, you already decided. That's what you're gonna do, right? But for some people else, they're like, oh, should I be an agent? Should I let people know I'm an agent? Should I focus on seller or should I focus on buyer? Or should I focus on seller half and half and focus on seller half time and focus on buyer half time? These are all internal struggles. You cannot have this. You need to make this decision. Narrow it down, make the decision and just do it. Do not know if or but. Do not discuss it anymore. Make the decision and just do it. Okay, I'm gonna be a listing agent. I'm gonna, I'm gonna talk to 10 sellers a day. Just do it. Anything else is just extra. You cannot be like, should I be a listing agent? Should I only work with sellers? Should I only work with buyers? Should I work with half seller, half buyer? Any one of the decisions is okay. You just need to make it. But you cannot sit on the fence. Like for me, so anyway, I made a decision. So that's why, I'm talking to you guys about the listing. I'm not saying you need to pick one or another. I'm just saying you need to pick one. It could be anyone. It could be you work with half seller, half buyer. It could be you work with seller only. It could be any decision, but you just need to make that decision. That's why today's session, we talked a lot about decision making. This is why. If you do not commit, if you do not make the decision, you inside of your mind and your body will have a lot of conflict. When you have a lot of conflict, your energy will be drained for nothing. The energy will not be applied to what's useful. If you do not make the decision, the energy will be wasted in constant indecision. You cannot do that. Just keep it simple, like the English, like the acronym KISS, right? Keep it simple. I'm not saying you're stupid, but that's KISS. Keep it simple. So I guess today's homework, for everyone that's still online, today's homework, make the decision. What's your decision? What's the decision you're gonna make? Next Wednesday, everybody can share your decision. It's very important. If you do not make the decision, it will not work. I can tell you that 100%, it will not work. You have to decide. The numbers too. Here's about the number, okay? Let's say if you decide, okay, I'm only gonna focus on listing. I'm going to sell 30 homes a year. It doesn't matter if you're richer or not, just decide. That could be another indecision too. Sometimes you think, should I sell 30 homes a year? Or should I sell 50 homes a year? Should I sell 20 homes a year? don't keep going back and forth. Just set a number and just go after it. Even if you don't reach the goal, that's okay. You know, all these things we talked about today, a lot of realtors are doing it. That's why you don't see the outcome, because all this wasted energy. Okay, so that's it, I guess. So, wow, today we actually went over pretty long. So yeah, so next time we're going to continue to talk about again about energy, because there's still a couple other concepts we want to talk about. The homework for next week is make your decision, decide on what you want to do. Because right now we're in March, right? We're starting March. So we only have 9 months left. So decide on what you want to do, make your decision. And if you want, you can share about your decision. Yeah. Okay, if nothing else, then we're going to conclude the session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Bye.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. Bye.